Hello, hello, everybody. It's me. Good morning. Happy Yom Kippur. Lenny will be out today, mostly napping, sitting in his hoodie. But he's here with me. Everything's good. We celebrate this day just as well as we celebrate all the Christian holidays and all the Jewish holidays in this house. So it's me, the Roto Lady, and we're going to talk some baseball. So it's, of course we're going to talk some baseball. I just want to make sure that you can hear me in the chat room. So if you're out there, let me know. And it's kind of important stuff that I got to start off with. So I got to make sure that we hear each other. But I think we do. I think we do. The MLB postseason field is now officially set with Friday's first round matchups. You will have the Phillies, who I want to say the Phillies went a good 10, 12 years without getting into the playoffs. But it's the Phillies at the Cardinals. The Padres made the playoffs barely. The Mets made the playoffs, of course, but obviously lost the lead in the National League East in the last seconds of the season. The Rays are going to play at Cleveland. Mariners at Toronto. The Astros will play the Yankees. And the Dodgers and the Braves, they get the first week off for bye weeks. And then the list of possible Dodgers opponents is down to 3. It's either the Mets, the Padres, or the Phillies. And we already know it's going to be the Mets against the Padres in the wild card round. Also, I must say to everybody, congratulations to Aaron Judge. Obviously, a great big deal. This baseball season has been very fun. Come down to the wire. The games with the Braves and the Mets. I know that a lot of people are disappointed who are Mets fans, but still, it just makes the game better when it comes down to series like that. Unfortunately, one team has to lose and one gets to win. But Judge's hit number 62 last night. He, 5 or 6 games ago, he hit number 61 and tied Roger Maris for the American League record. And interesting thing that Lenny pointed out was that Maris hit 61 homers in 162 games, while Judge hit 62 homers in 161 games. So that's fun. The only home run... Judge has been slacking, though. So, yes, everybody's excited. And did you see the fan that caught the ball? Why does it already have to go to a rich guy? Like, why couldn't a guy that doesn't have any money catch the ball? This guy that caught the ball is already like a multi-millionaire banker. And the archive place already offered him $2 million for Aaron Judge's home run ball number 62, and he's saying no, he's not giving up the ball for $2 million. He already has millions of dollars, so he doesn't need it.
Nobody needs it.
What, Leonard?
Nobody needs it.
Nobody needs it?
Yeah.
I would say a lot of people need $2 million. But, okay. We got Lenny interacting in the conversation here, so I knew I could entice him to talk. He's not supposed to talk to anybody today, but can you imagine? Okay. Anyway, while Judge is breaking the records with the home runs, he's lost his triple crown right at the moment. He's not leading in batting average, so his batting average is .310. It's excellent. But he trails the American League leader, Luis Arias, who began the day at .315. And so no triple crown for Judge. I'm saying no triple crown for Judge, right? It's over for him for that, I think. Luis Arias, .315. So Judge also has 130 RBIs. But going back to Luis Arias, he extended his hitting streak to 8 games, held his average at .315. He tries to become the 5th Twins player to win the league batting title. He was back in the lineup as the designated hitter after missing the previous 2 games with a left hamstring injury. Only Aaron Judge has more home runs since the All-Star break than Albert Pujols. Yesterday, Pujols hit a 2-run single in the 3rd inning to push his career total to 2,218 RBIs. That came a night after he broke a tie with Babe Ruth for second place on the career list. Hank Aaron holds the record with 2,287. So, will he play next year? That's the big question. He's got 2,218 RBIs. Hank Aaron with the record at 2,287. That's about 65 RBIs. Will he play next year for that reason? I think Lenny might think yes. I would say I think he should go out on a high note. Garrett Cole went into the game with 248 strikeouts, matched with Ron Guidry for the Yankees single season record. The Rangers were going with a bullpen game. Adolis Garcia hit his 27th home run. Okay, how much are you going to pay for Adolis Garcia next year? He has 100 RBIs, 27 home runs, and he's on a team that keeps losing. The Rangers lost 7 in a row, including yesterday. So what are you going to pay for Adolis Garcia? In the chat room, please. Talking about the Mets. The Mets led the division for 175 days. They held a 10.5 game lead on June 1st. 3 days after taking 4 of 5 from Atlanta at home, August 10th, they led by 7 games. Last night, the New York Mets were playing the Nationals. There was a doubleheader. So the New York Mets were eliminated from the National League East race, even though they swept the Nationals yesterday. They won the first game 4-2, but the second game, they came out swinging. They opened the game with 3 straight home runs. Brandon Nimmo, Francisco Lindor, and Jeff McNeil all went deep, 1, 2, 3. That was the first time in history the Mets started a game with 3 home runs in a row. And while that game was going on, the Braves were claiming victory of the National League East. But one exciting note to mention from the Mets doubleheader yesterday is that Francisco Alvarez, first hit is a home run. We love this guy. We've been talking about him all year. He is definitely somebody to be putting on your notepad for next year. Francisco Alvarez, number 1 prospect catcher for the Mets. We were expecting him all season. He was doing real good down in the minors. I think he was only at AA. That's the part of the reason why he never made it. But he's here now. First hit in the big leagues is a home run. Taijuan Walker yesterday struck out 10 for the 3rd time. That was the 3rd time he had double-digit strikeouts in a game this season, and the 12th time in his career. Taijuan Walker is somebody that I draft every year, and I think you should do it too. But I
still went 20 for Garcia.
Okay, they win 20. Thanks, Mitchell Hartson. Yesterday, Lenny said that you and Merrill didn't have the same last name. It was pretty hilarious. 20 for Garcia. Is he worth 20? Well, yep. 27 homers and 100 RBIs. So, I guess since you're the only one playing the game with me, we don't have you. You're the winner, Mitch. You're the proud owner of Adolis Garcia. Going back to the Mets. So this is interesting. You know, the Mets, the playoffs start on Friday. Starling Marte hasn't played since September 6th because he has a broken right middle finger. But he does say he still has some discomfort, whatever. Manager Buck Showalter said that Marte still can't grip a bat, but did not declare him out for the opening round of the postseason. So I hope he learns how to grip a bat soon. Not learns how, but is able to because of his injury. And let's shift over now. We talked about the Mets and the Nationals doubleheader. Let's talk about the Braves, what the Braves were doing in Miami at the time of this doubleheader where the Mets were on fire, swept the doubleheader, hit a whole bunch of home runs. Atlanta, while the Mets were starting their second game with the Nationals, the Braves were batting in the 6th inning with a 2-1 lead in Miami. Atlanta closed out its 5th straight division title yesterday. They beat the Marlins 2-1, just as the Mets had finished batting in the 4th inning. The Braves, like I said before, the Braves were 10.5 games behind the Mets at the start of June and lost 4 of 5 to New York in early August. On August 10th, the Mets were ahead by 7 games. And Atlanta, this is not that big of a surprise because last year Atlanta was 30-35 at one point before they won the World Series. And they actually have 100 wins for the first time since 2003 when they were 101-61. The Braves finished 88-73 last year, the regular season. Kenley Jansen recorded his 41st save, perfect ninth to steal the win. And get this, the Braves, the Braves. Yesterday, Michael Harris II notched Atlanta's first sacrifice bunt of the season. As 160 games went by, it looked like the Braves might be the first team in MLB history to complete a full season without bunting one time. But they did. They bunted. And so, isn't that interesting? I mean, bunts seem to be fewer and fewer and fewer as the days go by. But now there's no, I don't know, maybe because they're banning the shift, maybe there'll be more bunts. I don't know if that's true. I just thought of that. I didn't really put a lot of brain power behind it. Anyway, the Mariners love it. They get to make the playoffs for the first time, I think, since 2000. But they're the number 5 seed in the American League's playoff, and they will face Toronto in the best of 3 wildcard series. The Mariners' victory plus Tampa Bay's loss in Boston put the final touches on the AL playoff bracket. All of the playoff brackets were decided yesterday. Cal Quantrill, we talk about him. Lenny talks about him. I've been liking him. But he is totally... this is for your DFS notebook. This guy, when he's pitching at home, you need to put him in your roster. Quantrill finished the regular season unbeaten at Progressive Field, 14-0 in his career at the ballpark. His 14-game winning streak is the longest in the ballpark's history. He's 23-6 since September. No, the Guardians are 23-6 since September 5th. They keep finding ways to win. An interesting guy on this team is Andres Gimenez. I'd like to hear what you guys think in the chat room of this cat. Second baseman for the Guardians. What do you think his value is next year? We actually saw some of this potential going into this season. We were like, he could be really good for sure. And he had a breakout season this year. He batted 300 with a 371 on base percentage, 20 stolen bases, 17 home runs, 68 RBIs, and 65 runs scored in 144 games. He was hit by a pitch for the 24th time this season yesterday. He was also hit on Monday. Nobody's been hit in the American League more than this kid. He's 24 years old. What are we bidding on Andres Gimenez, Guardians second baseman next season? He'll be 25. And I'll repeat, 20 stolen bases, 17 homers, 68 RBIs, and 65 runs in 144 games with a 300 batting average and a 371 on base. He might be undervalued because of why is he undervalued, Leonard? Because the Guardians aren't that good, but they still win. I can't really say the Guardians aren't good because they keep winning. So, I mean, how do you say a first place team is not good? Because the division is not good, I guess. Anyway.
Mets traded him.
Who?
The Mets traded
Yes,
him.
the Mets traded Andres Gimenez. And who else did they trade? Shortstop with him, right? Ahmad Rosario.
Yeah.
Kansas City star dog, we're talking about your boy, Bobby Witt Jr., second rookie in 35 years to get at least 20 home runs and 30 steals. Guess who the other rookie was in the past 35 years to get 20 homers and 30 steals? I'll leave that open for a minute. I think it'll be quickly answered. Who's the only other rookie in the last 35 years to get 20 homers and 30 steals? All right, it's Potato Pete here. Hello, Big Al. Very nice to see you. It was the Pirates' 100th loss yesterday, so if Potato Pete is out there, I'm sorry, sir. It was the Pirates' 100th loss. That's the second year in a row that they've reached 100 losses. No surprise there, right? But I was interested to hear that Potato Pete says their lease for PNC Park is up in 2031. Tells me that they would they would lose that park. That park is bringing in fans regardless of the fact that their entire payroll is less than what they're paying for one good player. In some cases. So, moving on. The Rays, they haven't really won since they figured out they were in the playoffs. They lost 4 straight, but who cares? They're getting, they're resting up. They're getting ready. They're going to be the American League number 6 seed, and they'll go against the Cleveland Guardians. The Mariners, we already talked about, are going to go to Toronto. The Rays, lefty Jeffrey Springs, he's 9-5. He allowed 1 run off 2 hits and struck out 3 over 3 innings. Manager Kevin Cash says that he kept his outing short because he needs him to be rested if he's needed to pitch in a possible Game 3 wildcard round. So Shane McClanahan and Tyler Glasnow are expected to start the first 2 games of the series. I don't expect Glasnow to last more than a few innings, but he'll still be excellent. You watch and see. He will strike out batters like crazy if he's healthy, which I think he is.
Give the answer to your player question.
Good guesses. Okay, we got Ruben Sierra. That's it. That's my only guess. Oh my gosh, Mitchell, that's so funny, dude. That's too funny. Okay, Mike Trout is the one. He's the only other hitter rookie in 35 years. And now you guys are all hitting yourselves saying, you know what? That was easy. I should have got it. What's the word, Leonard? They're not participating today. Where's your participation today at the chat room? Okay. Eric Lauer, struck out 7, walked 4, committed an error, threw 97 pitches. He pitched 6 innings. Okay, so he pitched 6 innings. Eric Lauer, what are you thinking of him next year? I think he was surprisingly good. We saw some good potential out of this guy, and a lot of people in the industry actually did say that he was going to be good. I didn't listen to them, so there's that. Giolito, how much are we paying for Giolito next year? Are we going to risk having Giolito? We know he has the skills to pitch a good season. We've seen it. This guy, yesterday allowed 2 runs, 2 hits, 2 walks, hit 2 batters, and he won for the first time since August 24th. He was tabbed as the White Sox ace before the season, but finished the season 11-9 with a 4.90 ERA and an inconsistent season that mirrored his team. Him and his team. Right? Isn't there a saying, so goes the player or the team?
As the team goes, so goes the player.
As the team goes, so goes the player. And that's true in this case. I think there's more to it than that, though. I'm a little hesitant. I think there's something wrong with Giolito. Jose Abreu, he's going to be a free agent after the season, which is crazy. And he has actually said, and I remember this from several years ago, that he would stay with the White Sox for less money because he's grown up there and he likes it there. We'll see if that actually comes to fruition. But he had a 3-year, $50 million contract extension that runs out after this season. He's 35 years old. He's still hungry for more baseball. He doesn't know where it's going to be, but I do remember him saying that he would like to stay in Chicago. And he's excellent. He's a set-it-and-forget-it player. He's like Manny Machado or I don't know. Goldschmidt is a set-it-and-forget-it player. Arenado, you just leave them there. They do their job. They don't bother you with injuries all the time. Another set-it-and-forget-it player that you could not even mistake is Verlander. Struck out 10, didn't allow a hit, 5 innings. The Houston Astros kept the Phillies hitless until the 9th inning yesterday. A lot of that thanks to Verlander. He's pitched 3 no-hitters in his career, walked 1 before being pulled after 77 pitches, but the Houston Astros were already up 8-0 by the time they pulled out Verlander. He's got an American League leading 18 wins. He's got, I can't because I have to hang up the phone or they can't hear me in the chat room if it's ringing. Anyway. Verlander, back to Verlander. Leading the league with a 1.75 ERA. It's the lowest for a qualified pitcher in the American League, except for the pandemic-shortened season because Pedro Martinez posted a 1.74 ERA in 2000. Think of it. Verlander at 30, is he 39? He is not young. He's like almost 40. Let me look at his age. He's 39 years old. He had as good of a season as Pedro Martinez in 2000, as far as ERA is concerned, at least, right? He's won the Cy Young 2 times, but this year is the lowest ERA of his career, besting his 2.40 ERA in 2011. Nobody saw this coming. This is the best season he's ever had. The only reason we discounted him was because of his age and his Tommy John surgery, but I've been saying for years, these guys that come back from Tommy John surgery are stronger than they've ever been because of the amount of work that it takes to come back from this injury. Verlander came back no problem. And I'm just wondering if you guys in the chat room are willing to spend another $20, $25 on Verlander next year when he's going to be 40. But age does not, he's like Tom Brady, okay? Age is not a factor here so far. But I said that about Nelly Cruz. I've said that about other players where, you know, it doesn't happen till it happens. And it is going to happen abruptly with most of these guys at some point. Anyway, love Verlander. Wondering how much you guys are going to pay for him in the chat room. Let's see what else we got. Kyle Tucker, 30 homers, 107 RBIs, and 25 stolen bases. He was a first-round pick last year, so I'm not surprised. I mean, this is good. He lived up to his first-round credentials. He joins Hall of Famer Jeff Bagwell as the only players in Astros franchise history with at least 30 homers, 25 steals, and 100 RBIs in a season. Bagwell did it twice in 1997 and 1999. The Astros are the first team in American League history to win 100 games in 4 out of 5 full seasons. We're going through the notes quickly, Leonard.
All right, you have plenty of notes.
Is anybody talking to me in the chat room?
Yes, you get stuff. Go ahead, just keep going.
Nobody's talking to me. Michael Kopech was drafted 8.5 years ago. He underwent surgery on his right knee, but he's actually out because of his shoulder, but he had surgery on his knee. He was already going to miss the rest of the season due to a shoulder injury. Obviously, that's official, and the White Sox aren't making the playoffs, so that's that for him. But what do we do next year? The question is, what do we do next year with Michael Kopech? He ended the season with a 3.54 ERA, a 1.19 WHIP, and 105 to 57 strikeout to walk ratio across 119 and a third innings.
Pete's here.
Hello, Potato Pete.
Kenny Flammy's here.
Yay, Kenny Flammy. Chris from Cambridge.
Say hello to everybody.
Hello, Merrill. Hello, Mitchell. Everybody's here. Yay, Big Al is here. Let me check the list. Unholy Toledo, Zelbo, White Sox Al, Triple Play, Stardog, Robert C, Potato P, Mitchell, Merrill. One is it's Merrill Hartson and Mitchell Fartson. Oh, that cracked me up. Cal Rona's here. Thank you very much, Greg, for showing up. Chris Gallo, DK Luce, Chris from Cambridge, and all of you. I didn't realize so many of you were here, and I'm pleased about it. So let me just continue on about Michael Kopech. Okay. He's expected to be completely healthy by next year. So, again, 119 and a third innings pitched this year. Struck out 105, walked 57. His whip is good, 1.19, 3.54 ERA. What are we going to do with Michael Kopech? I guess if you just expect to not have a full season of innings, because we haven't seen that from him yet. I think Michael Kopech is a good pitcher still, but very injury prone. Kind of like Rodon was for so many years. Anyways, a note from James Caparellian, our Milwaukee Brewer fan that comes to the chat room. He sent us a list of the lowest ERAs since June 28th. It's Dylan Cease, 1.92 ERA. Tyler Anderson, 2.06 ERA. Tristan McKenzie, 2.21 ERA. Zach Gallen, 2.25 ERA. And Brandon Woodruff, 2.34 ERA. Players to watch. We're always talking about players to watch for next year. Taylor Ward, 2 for 5, 2 doubles, a run, and an RBI on Monday. Over his last 18 games, he's batting .426, 29 for 68 with 7 doubles, 5 home runs, and 26 combined runs and RBIs. He really had a streaky season, so he is finishing the season on a good note, on an upswing, and you say, okay, a lot of times when I'm doing my draft research, I'm always looking at what did they do to finish the season, because the momentum going into next season is usually good. If they end the season on a high note, they typically start the season on a high note. Not all the time, but it's something, just a little tidbit to look at. He really has good StatCast metrics. So I think that Taylor Ward is going to be a decent, very reasonably priced player that you can get, for a decent amount. He's, like I said, he's ending the season great. He has great StatCast metrics and should be on your watch list. Akil Baddoo, 2 for 4 with a walk, a run, and 2 stolen bases on Monday. He bats on top of the lineup. That's huge. If this guy batted ninth, he would be useless. But he does not bat ninth. He bats leadoff, which is helping him out a lot in fantasy. So he stole 9 bases this season. That's only half what he recorded as a rookie last season. But he hasn't seen that much playing time. So it'll be interesting. I won't have him on my team, but I certainly loved picking him up off the waiver last year because that guy was just crushing it for a while. And then you have Tony Gonsolin. So he's returned from the injured list. He pitches 2 innings. Gonsolin, 2 innings. He's actually 16-1 with a 2.14 ERA, and he pitched for the first time since August 23rd. He missed 40 games with forearm tightness. In those 2 innings, he struck out 3, allowed 1 earned run, and 3 hits. So I just think they're just easing him back into it. The Dodgers have, the week off. They want to probably enter the playoffs rested, and including Julio Urias, lefty, 17-7 with the 2.12 ERA. One more chance to make his case for the Cy Young Award. He leads the league in ERA and allowed no earned runs in his last 2 starts and just 4 over 5 starts in September. It's so funny. One of these writers actually said this. Ozzie Guillen just said the smartest thing. It's amazing. They hate Ozzie Guillen. I'm so surprised they said that. So this is the smartest thing that Ozzie Guillen said, according to this writer. Hiring the next manager will be the easiest things the White Sox front office does this offseason. Plenty of good candidates. What they do with the roster is the tough part. Is that the smartest thing? I don't know. I mean, honestly, what they do with the roster, they have players that can't stay healthy. These players are under contract. There's not much they can do with them except for hope and pray that these guys get healthy for next year. I mean, like Lenny was saying, Luis Robert has only participated in 50% of the games since he became a major league player. So Eloy is probably working on the same type of percentage because he's constantly out too. And this whole team, Tim Anderson is just spending so much time just complaining and stuff. I don't know what he's doing, but he hasn't done anything this year because suspensions, injuries, mostly injuries. But honestly, what are you going to do with the team that's all under? These are all good players, but if they're hurt, there's not much you can do. So yeah, sure, hire another manager after that. But until these guys get healthy, they're not going to win games. That's all there is to it. So Josh Harrison hit a 2-run homer. Chicago's won 4 out of the last 5 games. Cueto is 8-10, stopped a personal 4-game slide, and Liam Hendricks got 3 outs for his 37th save. Minnesota dropped to 9-19 in their last 28 games. Boo. That's what happens when Buxton goes out for the season. Aaron Nola took a perfect game into the 7th inning, and Schwarber homered to propel the Phillies to the victory on Monday. They beat the Astros 3-0 on Monday to clinch their first playoff berth in 11 years. That's right, 11 years. Go Phillies. There was a time when we didn't think they were going to even make the playoffs, even though I entered the season, I would have bet that they had the best hitting lineup in baseball. A close second, maybe Toronto, but honestly, the Phillies had such a good, strong lineup. They really spent a lot of money on just offense because their defense got progressively worse with the more hitters that they signed. Because they signed hitters with no defensive skills, but they signed hitters that hit like 35 bombs every year. So you thought that with Bryce Harper and all these guys that the Phillies were going to be an excellent team. Anyway, Aaron Nola was good this year, that's for sure. Schwarber, like I said, he hit a couple home runs. He's got 8 multi-home run games this season. Leads the National League with a career high 46 home runs, 199 homers in his career. And by the way, Albert Pujols has 703 now, right, Leonard?
Yes.
703. How exciting. All right. The best news for the Red Sox is that they won't have to face the Blue Jays again until May 1st, 2023. The Blue Jays went 16-3 against the Red Sox this season. They won the last 9 games by a combined score of 83-23 and 125-55 on the season. The Blue Jays crushed the Red Sox. I think a lot of teams crushed the Red Sox, but especially the Blue Jays in the latest games that they played. I'm going to say it again. The Blue Jays beat the Red Sox 16 times, and they lost to the Red Sox 3 times. But the last 9 times they faced the Red Sox, they crushed them. The run differential was like 60. The Angels were 1 out away from extending their season-high winning streak to 8 games, which would have been their longest since a 10-game streak, September 4 through 13 in 2014. Ohtani was 1 for 4 with a double to extend his career-high hitting streak to 18 games. I mean, I don't know. I can understand the argument. Lenny's been throwing out this question for weeks. And it's if you put the MVP aside and you say just who's having the better season, I don't know how anybody could say it's Judge over Ohtani because of the fact that he pitches too. I mean, I get that Judge's stats are amazing and they beat everybody pretty much in offensive categories. But when you actually bring that skill, another entire skill that like nobody else has in baseball, I don't know how anybody could say that Judge is having a better season than Ohtani. It just makes no sense to me. But that's just me. I get the other side of the coin that Judge is having a phenomenal season. But by the way, once again, he's not going to win the Triple Crown. I don't know if that should take away from the stats that he already has, but it kind of puts it into a little more perspective about who's having the better season. If Judge wins the Triple Crown and beats Roger Maris, that's saying a lot. That's saying that, that's huge. It's still saying a lot. The guy's got a .310 batting average, so a .310 batting average is still great. However, it's not Triple Crown worthy. And Shohei Ohtani he's in the top 5 in everything. In pitching and hitting. He's in the top 5 in baseball in all the categories. So Shohei Ohtani, unbelievable. Angels, Patrick Sandoval, another guy that was very reasonably priced. You got him at the end of your drafts this past season. He left the game with a 4-0 lead after throwing 6 innings of 5-hit ball. He struck out 6, gave up 1 walk. He's got a 1.83 ERA in his last 10 starts, and he's lowered his ERA on the season to 2.91. He's a good pitcher that strikes out batters, gets a lot of ground balls, and keeps his ERA below 3. His price point is going to go up a lot from last year. Rendon. Hey, Rendon finally returned to the lineup for the first time since he went on the injured list June 17th with right wrist inflammation. He went, he had surgery and now he's finally back. We talk a lot about Rendon. Oh, I made a mistake. I put Rendon on my team. Ridiculous. But okay, what are we going to do next year? Are we going to fall for it again like we do every year with Rendon? We'd be like, oh, he did it that one time, he was really good. He signed a huge contract. He's going to get playing time. I could see all the points coming out right now to draft Rendon, and I say stay away from him. I think a lot of people know that. So, Joe Musgrove, 6 shutout innings. Right? Veteran right-hander. Joe Musgrove ended the season with a 2.93 ERA. His record is 10-7. What are we doing with Musgrove next year for fantasy? How much are we going to spend on Musgrove? And I promise to check the chat room again. Potato Pete, the wannabe media thinks the Pirates are as a good or better than the Cards. Oh, okay. I know, you've been bored, right? It does suck when you fall out of your leagues and it's not that fun anymore. But I'm still glad you're back talking baseball. Clearly you're a baseball fan. Yes, the Angels are in last. The Yankees are in first. There's no discussion. That might be for MVP, but does that mean... That's not really what I'm saying, though. There is a discussion. It's been going on for weeks, and we'll probably continue to have the discussion forever because I think that there are valid sides to the argument. But, my point is Aaron Judge doesn't pitch. So...
Musgrove 19 in the chat room.
Oh, Musgrove 19... Anybody else? I think he'll take in 20. Leonard?
No.
You're not going to bid?
No.
You're not allowed to bid on players on Yom Kippur.
That's right.
But you wanted to make sure that I bidded with you guys. Okay. Moving on. We're just talking Nuggets today. We're just doing baseball Nuggets over here. All right. I told you that Michael Harris he didn't steal, he bunted. He actually bunted the first time the Braves bunted all season. Sacrifice bunt, First time they sacrifice bunted all season was just yesterday. Michael Harris II did it. Uh-oh, I lost my spot in my notes. 1 sec. I'm right here. Harris accomplished in September what he had previously done in June and August. The 21-year-old center fielder earned his third National League Rookie of the Month award. He hit .324 and finished with 6 home runs and 19 RBIs in September. So Harris gets the National League Rookie of the Month award 3 times this season. I would say he would have to be in... Who else is a better Rookie of the Year for the National League? I wonder who. Darvish, selected National League Pitcher of the Month for September. He went 5-1 in September with a 1.85 ERA and 44 strikeouts. And oh boy, is Darvish still the pitcher that we thought he was. He's still a good pitcher for sure. And he proved it again in September. So we're going to keep that in mind as we go into the next season. The New York Mets had a 79% chance to win the National League East before the series against the Braves. After New York was swept, the Braves, clearly, they already did it. So this piece of nugget is old that I have. Felix Bautista, we talked a lot about the Tigers and the Orioles and the trades that they made. And, Felix Bautista has been, he leads the team with 15 saves. Is it Bautista, the Orioles? Yeah. Lenny's giving me hand signals to speed it up right now.
No, end it.
But I'm almost done. Why do you think I should end it?
Because the chat room is emptying out and you did a great job.
Okay. Well, let me just say one more thing about Josh Hader. Everybody was really down on this trade. Josh Hader to the Padres. We loved it for the Padres. We were like, yay, the Padres. They're going to get Hader. Hader stunk when he got to the Padres. He was horrific. But in his last 10 appearances, he has a .93 ERA, only 6 base runners allowed. And I would say that he's definitely figured it out. And also on the other side of that coin, since the Brewers traded Josh Hader, they've allowed the eventual game-winning run to score in the 8th inning or later 11 times. It's been a disaster. And on that note, everybody, Lenny will be back tomorrow.
Say goodbye to everybody in the chat room.
Say goodbye to everybody in the chat room. Okay. Let me pull up the list. Greg, Calrodus, Cyclotus, thanks for coming. Chris Gallo, love it. DK Lush, Kenny Flamia, Leonard, Merrill, and Mitchell, 2 twins. Potato Pete, Stardog, Triple Play, guest Carla, Lavina, Marietta. Very nice to have everybody around. Lenny will be back tomorrow, and enjoy your day.